For our next Member Spotlight video, today we're going to be sitting down with Brett Pletzke, who is the chair of the Associates Committee. Brett, thank you for making time. We're happy to have you on the Member Spotlight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
Sure. So I know you're busy, so why don't we dive into a few questions? Good. So first of all, tell me a little bit about your day job.
So to start, I am one of two senior facility managers here at American Institutes for Research. So I oversee operations and construction and moves and all of the things an FM would oversee for all of our locations, primarily outside of the DC area, which is where we're headquartered.
Gotcha. Is there something about your role that you would say is specifically unique or challenging?
I think just probably like everyone, this last year has been particularly challenging, but specific to my role, just the geography of being so spread out. Before the pandemic, I would spend a lot of time in my office here in Chicago, just with the door closed and on the phone, working with my team or contractors or providers, all across the country. So just really, before the pandemic, I would say not being able to be face-to-face with people was a challenge, but we've all learned how to be better with that since then. So
yes, well, it looks like you're back in the office, which I'm sure is probably a pretty welcome change.
I am. Yeah, this is the first time I've been in the office in a few weeks. We try to get in. We've got someone from our team in every week at least, but this is the first time I've been in a little while.
Gotcha. Well, so let me ask you, speaking specifically about IFMA, well, what brought you to IFMA? Was there a person or an event, or what brought you to the Chicago chapter?
Excuse me. So I was exposed to IFMA very early on in my career, really before my career in FM started. I have my bachelor's degree in facilities management, which I earned from Ferris State University. Go Bulldogs.
Sure.
So we had a student chapter there. So that's really where I was first exposed to IFMA. Later on, when I came to work for AIR, I've always had, so number one, I'm very fortunate to work for an organization that values professional development and investing in its staff, and fortunate to work for leadership who have also been really involved in IFMA over the years. So my senior director, Case Runnelson, is a past president of the Capital chapter. My deputy director, who I report to, Matt Buchanan, is the president-elect of the Capital chapter. So we've got, on our team, we're all very involved in IFMA, and that's a big part of why I'm involved with IFMA today.
Sure. Yeah, it sounds like they set the example pretty strong.
Absolutely.
Well, how long have you been a member?
I've been a member of IFMA in one form or another since like 2009. So I guess that's, 12 years now?
Hard to believe.
And I believe I've been a member of the Chicago chapter for maybe 6 or 7 years.
Gotcha. Do you happen to remember your first Chicago chapter meeting?
Early on, one of the first events I went to were one of the lunch and learns, or one of the Brainy Bite, one of the lunch and learn sessions back when we could all get together in the same room.
Sure.
And I just remember walking out. I don't recall what the session was for, unfortunately, but I do remember walking out just being really impressed at attendance, how many people were there, and really just the caliber of all these different members, of all these people that were there. Everyone seemed incredibly professional, incredibly knowledgeable, regardless of what industry they were representing, right? Not all members are FMs, so there's lots of other members as well.
Yeah.
And I just remember being really impressed at the members of the Chicago chapter.
Gotcha. Well, would you say those lunch meetings are your favorite kind of Chicago chapter events? Are there other events that you get enjoyment out of?
Sure. So, I think, so that's a hard question to answer. There's so many great events. Pre-pandemic, sorry, I keep saying pre-pandemic, but yeah, pre-pandemic, I think those ones were really great. For me, they were relatively easy to get to. I could walk out of the office and get a nice little lunchtime walk, go learn something, get some food, meet some new people, and then be back at work. I do have to give a plug to the happy hour events, currently the virtual happy hour events. I think those are great. The pandemic really forced us to rethink just how we approach those, what the purpose of those are, and how we keep people connected. We've been seeing attendance grow over the last few months for sure, so that's been great. And it's just nice to get together and have kind of a less structured time with our IFMA colleagues and have a drink and chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking as an associate member, I definitely like the happy hours, virtual or in person, but hopefully we'll get back to those in person sooner rather than later. So you brought it up a little bit. I mean, obviously you volunteer for the chapter, for the associates committee. What do you enjoy most about volunteering?
So I think for me, what I really love about volunteering and being involved with the chapter is being exposed to and being able to work with the rest of the volunteers, especially the board. I mean, you and I had this month's board meeting earlier today.
Sure.
But just there's so many great people within the chapter. So that's the members, the volunteers, the board of directors, so many people who really are at the top of their game in whatever it is that they do within the various industries. And I just learned so much and really enjoy learning so much from everyone in the chapter. I think we've got a great group. There's a lot of great brains out there for sure. I just I really enjoy being able to connect with everyone.
Agreed, 100%. So then outside of your 9 to 5, have you taken on any new hobbies or projects around the house during the quarantine?
I have. I've taken a few on early on in the pandemic, back when we were all really trying to figure out how to cope with this. My gift to myself was a new table saw. So I like to take on projects around the house, and I felt like I needed a table saw to be able to take on some of the projects that I really wanted to work on, which has been great. And also, my partner Jessie, she's really increased my task list since that thing came into my garage. So next weekend I'm starting on a new headboard and bed for our bedroom. So I hope that goes well.
Gotcha. Well, so it sounds like she's benefiting from it as well then.
Yeah, absolutely. She's taking advantage of it for sure.
Was there a movie or a book or a song or anything that kind of came out of the blue in 2020 and surprised you?
I think for me, at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, Spotify likes to put together the list of your what you were listening to over the year. Sure. So my Spotify list from 2020 was filled with things that I like, which would be some country music like Eric Church and Chris Stapleton, and then also lots of songs that our son likes because that's what I'm playing when we're in the car. So lots of things like the Sing soundtrack, which is really terrific. If you haven't listened to it, you should.
That's the animated Sing movie?
The animated Sing movie, yeah.
That is a frequent one in the Bishop household for sure, but I agree. Reasonably good music, which I like.
So lots of those. And then Charlie, that's our son. One of his other favorites is Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. So that was on my list as well.
Got some good taste. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so back to AIR, and I guess just kind of your position as a whole. What are you looking forward to in 2021?
So like many people, I'm really looking forward and keeping my fingers crossed that we're able to get to the backside of the pandemic and really being able to return to the workplace. But with that, and I know that will come in due time, I'm hoping it comes sooner rather than later. But I'm really looking forward to what we bring back to the workplace with us. I think through the past year, we've learned a lot of lessons. Obviously, we've learned how to adapt and how to deal with the challenges that the pandemic has brought. But within that, there's so many examples of things that will be beneficial moving forward, even when we are back in the workplace and able to meet together. One of the things I mentioned earlier on in our conversation was one of the challenges for me and my role in my team is just how spread out we are, which we don't even think twice about it anymore because of the way we've been able to leverage technology to get together all the time via video, which we didn't really do before and our partners weren't really used to doing before. So I see a ton of benefit just in our leverage of technology. There's lots of other lessons learned too that maybe I'm sure kind of arch across the industry, some things that are probably more organization centric or specific to us. But I think there's just so many things that we've learned over the past year that have helped us get through the past year, but that are really going to help us continue to strive once we can get more quote unquote back to normal.
Sure. Well, so and I like what you said in terms of bringing back what we've learned through all of this, and I think that is going to be pretty powerful for a lot of people.
That's the plan.
Good, fingers crossed. But
Right.
all right, Brett, thank you again. I appreciate you answering a few questions and helping us get to know you. I'll let you get back to it. Enjoy that view out the window. Looks quite nice and reminds me of downtown Chicago, which is very nice too. But thanks again for making time for us, Brett.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks for all that you do for the chapter.
Happy to do it. Thanks again.